waiting for the magical button. Apparently it's now. Apparently it is now. What's up, buddy?
I got to show you what showed up at the house. Do you see this?
What is that?
This, you can hardly see it. This showed up in the mail, and it's my brand new 55 Ways book.
That is beautiful. Do you know what's so great about the reveal is that as you started revealing, your whole curtain came down behind you.
Oh no! How about
It was great. You're like, I got to reveal, and then the whole thing fell down. So we'll go to the opening real quick.
let's roll with it.
Here we go. There we are.
And this is why. So last week, if you were on last week with us, we had somebody ask, "What's behind the curtain?" And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm sitting here in my office, which is in my basement, which is in our storage room, which I lovingly refer to as the dungeon. And so this is, you can see back.
I love it, man. You got some pipes going on back there. You got some.
There's a passive radon, and then this thing right here that I'm pointing to, this is our crawl space access door.
Wow. You cannot fit in there, by the way.
No, I don't go.
No. I believe it was my buddy Todd last week who wanted to see what's behind the curtain, and he's very excited about the big reveal tonight. So, hey, I can't believe, did you really just get that book in the mail like recently? Because I'm not kidding you. And again, I love government. I work for the government. I love the U.S. Postal Service, but I probably mailed that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it literally just showed up, and I don't know. I mean, it could be, the Postal Service.
Postal Service
certainly having some troubles right now, but I will say that it could have been. It looks like.
What is your postmark date?
Well, it looks like it's been run over by a truck.
No wonder it didn't get to you. No one can read that.
And it's hard to read. Oh, I guess I just put my address out on the internet.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, no one can read anything on that. So not a thing. Well, anyhow, my name is Pete. If you're just listening, or if you're listening on the podcast, or if you're watching the live stream, thank you for joining us. This is Leadership and Laughs with Pete and Brian. We take an hour. We have some fun. We do some happy stories. We just have a good time. And before we get into anything, my buddy Brian's in Denver, Colorado, which I believe is the home of the 90-degree day and the snow day. So why don't you walk us through your experience recently?
Sunday was my wife's birthday, and we had a beautiful day. Went up and did a little hiking, and came back. And by that time, our wildfires that have been casting smoke over Colorado started actually kind of snowing ash on us, but it was 90 degrees and hot. And then the next day was Labor Day, and it was also 90 something degrees.
Sure.
And we hung out with that was my daughter's birthday. And so we had a very nice day doing that. And then, night falls and morning comes on Tuesday, and it's 34 degrees.
Did you have any snow, or did you just have the cold?
We didn't all day on Tuesday, and not by us. Other places in Colorado did. However, then by Tuesday night, this morning, we woke up and there was snow everywhere. So, and then the weird thing is, this will all be gone, and by the weekend, I'll be outside grilling again. It'll be fall. It'll be in the high 70s. Low 80s.
Beautiful weekend forecast. My buddy, who I've just interacted with recently, Anthony, who's a good friend of Sean Carpenter's and mine, says hello from Tampa, Brian. I believe you and I are both familiar with the Tampa area. That's home of your beautiful smoking hot wife. Is that correct?
It is. She was not born there, but a lot of her family lives there.
Yeah. Tampa's not getting snow. I will tell you that. But let's go sidebar real quick. Could you imagine if in 2020 the Lightning won the Stanley Cup? They're in the finals. the Tampa Bay Rays won the World Series and the Tampa Bay Bucks with Tom Brady won the Super Bowl? Is it possible?
No.
Is it possible?
No, that's not
good. Yes, it is. It's totally possible.
No, every year I make it my point to spit upon the image of Tom Brady and he's washed out, and then every year he proves that I'm an idiot. And so who knows? It could happen.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. Let's and as much as we could talk sports all day, let's get started with leading off. Let's get your opening theme song going here. All right, this section's called Leading Off with Brian. We get out of the politics and out of the dirty news and all the stuff that stresses people out, and we get into the happy news, the good news, the interesting news, the sort of good leadership should you have done this news. My buddy Brian's going to get us started today with Leading Off with Brian. So here we go, man.
Oh, man. Have you heard of these gender reveal parties?
Yes, I believe I have. It's the latest thing where when you're going to have a baby, you have to open up a can of confetti or a cake that's pink in the middle or something like that, right?
Something. And we've been to some, and we've been to some that were successful. However, recently there has been a spate of them, a run on gender reveal parties that have caused quite a bit of damage.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So something like this.
Oh my gosh, there it is. So if it wasn't already a bad idea to throw a party without the proper safety measures during this pandemic, having one that sparks a massive forest fire.
No, do we have a picture of that? Oh, we do.
So it came out this week that a California family set off a smoke generating pyrotechnic device, which caused a fire that is now raging through the San Bernardino National Forest. It's burned thousands of acres and destroyed countless, wildlife and property damage. And the blogger who is widely credited with popularizing these gender reveal parties, her name is Jenna Carvinitis. Even she said that she's had enough. She wrote on Facebook this week, "Stop having these stupid parties. For the love of God, stop burning things down just to tell everyone about your kids."
Nice. Well done. You practiced that. That was excellent.
Yeah. I had the bell right here. But,
let me tell you something. Gender reveal parties to me are about as overdone as promposals.
Promposals, right?
Oh my word! So again, with you can't just ask somebody to prom. My daughter went through it. My son went through it. It's got to have a rhyme. It's got to have a theme. It's got to have this. So yeah, I hope those two things jump the shark very soon.
When our kids were born, I never even heard of a gender reveal party.
No, of course not. You had a baby shower
way back. Well, that's there was wedding showers helping the new young couple get started on their feet and all that. I wonder if that happened before baby showers, and then all of a sudden there was baby showers for the first baby and the second baby and the fifth baby, But
now, let me go ahead and say this to all of our listeners on LinkedIn or Facebook, or if you're watching, if you had a gender reveal party, we apologize. We don't mean to mock you. Good for you. Way to go. If you're a fan of the gender reveal or the promposals, you can go ahead and write us your story in the comment box or in the text box. Let us know what you think about those things. So again, Brian and I we're not passing judgment. We're just saying
judgment on gender reveal parties as a whole, but perhaps just the ones that start wildfires that thousands of acres. It's really dry out west right now.
Yeah.
And there was even one in Iowa last year that I read about where they inadvertently, it was supposed to blow up a bunch of confetti, but inadvertently built a pipe bomb, and it was actually it actually killed somebody. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why I'm laughing. That's not good. So yeah. One in Florida, Pete, that had an alligator chomp on a watermelon, and they injected the watermelon full of like blue jelly, and so the alligator went crunch, and we're having a boy.
That's see, because it has to be more and more and more. See, Todd talks about just making it just a general gender reveal as a whole. It doesn't even have to be. We can all take part in that.
Yeah. So that's why they did what?
This is a they did what. All right, buddy, let's go on to story number 2. I'm calling it taking it to the streets. What do you got for me for story 2?
So I think we talked before about different, orchestras that are in orchestra halls, which have unfortunately had to be closed during the pandemic. So it's now been more than 5 months since the New York Philharmonic, which I found out is the nation's oldest symphony orchestra. They
don't look that old.
That was good. You got me. They They of course play in Lincoln Center there in New York. And so it's been more than 5 months since they had to close their doors. And the president of the New York Philharmonic, her name is Deborah Borda. She's a violinist.
All right.
She explained that for the Philharmonic's musicians, their life obviously and their livelihood is all about making music. So
no doubt.
Now been completely cut off from being able to give their gift to the people. And of course, the people could use that. So they came up with a solution, which is they rented a Ford pickup.
There it is.
And it's dubbed the Bandwagon. Get it?
Oh, well done. Give yourself a bell for that. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this. It's just a pickup truck and a bunch of people who are outside on a street corner as part of the Philharmagic. Oh, hear what I did there? Philharmonic.
Yeah, no, this is a Ford F-250 that they travel around New York's 5 boroughs each weekend with a sound system, support staff, and a handful of musicians in the back of the pickup. So if the people can't come to Lincoln Center, they figured we're going to bring the music to the people. So the concert locations aren't announced ahead of time. It's kind of in an effort to keep the crowd size low and keep the social distancing possible, and they just do little 15-minute concerts.
So awesome. Here's another picture of people it's a lot of people standing around. And again, this is stuff from a leadership perspective, but this is what we're talking about. We're talking about how do we get more creative? How can we just not stand back and go, well, we can't do anything about this? What are some things we can do? Especially in people who love art and love music, and how can we give back? And I remember when this first started, Brian, didn't we see this over in Europe? A lot of people on balconies would bring out their keyboards and they would start playing to the crowds below, stuff like that. But this is actually bringing a lot of people out to a street corner, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know how New York is. Everybody's kind of walking around there anyway. So, each week they have the musician and the staff members out there, and they make 3 stops a day during the weekend, and they visit locations in all 5 boroughs, and people just kind of gather to enjoy an impromptu and free concert on the street by the New York Philharmonic.
I love it. Love it. All right, let's get. Oh yeah, I think we have time for one more. Yeah, no doubt. Let's get to our third happy story of the day, buddy. Here we go.
Oh, so this story is inspired by my brother Rob. Hi, Rob, if you're watching.
What's up, Rob?
He lives in Minnesota with his family, and he enjoys taking them to the Minnesota State Fair every year. But I was talking to him recently. He said he's worried that everything would simply be canceled this year. And then he pointed out that that under normal circumstances, it would be State Fair season. But like you said before, people, it's time to get creative.
Yep.
Now word is coming out from several different states that, even though they've been forced to shutter their normal celebrations, they're still looking to preserve that late summer magic with the State Fair.
How are they going to do that?
Well, mainly in the form of fried butter. Some form of butter fried food. So, for instance, the New York State Fair unveiled a pair of their legendary butter sculptures over Facebook Live. And
Nice.
and what we're looking at here, if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, this is the Minnesota State Fair. They have now been transformed into the first ever. I think they're calling it the Minnesota State Fair Food Parade. So now you can show up in your car, and you don't have to get out of your car, and you can just drive slowly. It's a 1.5 mile one-way route through the fairgrounds.
I demand a Fanny Farkle footlong immediately. Gatlinburg reference. If you haven't been there, you have no. Yes.
They can sample over 500
Yes.
different food items from 300 different vendors, and
Wow.
I'm sure most of those are on a stick.
Yes, no doubt. Now you also sent me this photo. What is this?
Oh, so as they drive along, they also have I don't know why my voice cracked. As they
You were
drive along,
very excited about this photo.
as they drive along, they have performers that are entertaining the people in the car. So, these are the performers that you would normally see, walking around juggling. These are what we're looking at here are some gymnasts doing some routines that are set up there.
Yes, that's Cirque du Soleil is what that looks like to me.
I can imagine that car line is probably not going very fast. So they want something to look at in between their.
Yes. Yeah. Because okay, first of all, we've got to talk through this because it's a great idea. Do you know how frustrated I am when I'm the car in the very back? Dude, I just want a funnel cake. I just want to get to the funnel cake, and people are just taking it looks good on paper, and I love the creativity. I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
What you're getting into. We have this in Colorado. If you've ever driven up to the ski towns from Denver, you just have to know ahead of time. Look, I'm going to be stuck in bumper to bumper mountain traffic or when we lived in Florida. Like if you were going to drive down to Key West,
oh my word,
and some fool drops his boat off a trailer, you're going to be there for a little while.
Correct. 2 lanes all the way down once you get down there.
Yeah.
But beautiful. Well worth it. Hey, if you're listening or watching right now live on Facebook or on LinkedIn, my buddy Sean told me this. Go ahead and drop somebody's name in the comments of someone who you think might like the show. That way it'll pop up on theirs and kind of be there. And it'll be just in time for them because it's time for the Leadership and Laughs article of the week. Yeah, the leadership article of the week. Who knew, buddy? You ever heard of Susan Fowler?
Of course.
Yes, she's infamous. Susan Fowler, she has written or co-authored about 8 different books, buddy, including she's done some work with our buddy Ken Blanchard, who I believe commented one time on our show. And again, Susan, what we're going to do is we're going to read your article today. We're going to talk about it because we're too lazy to write our own articles. And then once you get comments and all that, we send you a Leadership and Laughs coffee mug, hot off the presses. So that'll be coming to you. No ixnay on the coffee mug.
Yeah.
All righty.
With the Leadership and Laughs t-shirts.
Gotcha. Okay. I was going to do one of those. Okay. That's a shame. All right. So here's the article, buddy. Today we're going to talk about, hold on. Let me get up my little thingy bopper here. We're going to talk about beliefs. Beliefs. And beliefs are going to be really exciting. So here's the Pew Research Center. Brian, have you heard about the Pew Research Center? They're a think tank.
That's what they call my office after I eat chili.
Give yourself a bell. I mean, it's right there. It's right. Well done. It's right there. Okay. So here's what we're going to talk about. She says that she's followed this gentleman whose name is Milton Rokich. And he says there's 5 different types of beliefs. So as leaders, this is what I want y'all to be thinking about, because now we're getting into the academic side. Now we've had our laughs, Brian, if you will. Let's talk about leadership and some of the things you can apply to your job. So your belief system, Brian. She writes here that according to him, there's 5 different types of beliefs. So we're going to take a common, something we all have in common right now and talk about these 5 different types. And it's going to be wearing masks. Okay. All right. Wearing masks, the national pandemic, wearing masks, whatever you want to do. You, my buddy Brian, have a belief on this. You could have a belief that masks are good. You could have a belief that masks are bad. You could have a belief that I don't want to wear a mask because I'm going to inhale my own stuff, or look at the masks and the data's going down, or you can wear a mask, but as long as it doesn't have one of them, what were those circle things called? Respirator.
I don't know.
Respirator on the side. Yeah. So there's all kinds of things. But did you know, Brian, that your belief system comes from one of 5 types?
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get started. Now, again, I want to thank everybody who's now commenting in. You've got everything from my buddy Michael saying nice graphics to my buddy Joseph, who is mocking the show by saying we don't give anything away whatsoever. And then, of course, the other person who always tries to be funnier than the hosts, which is Sean, who says Pew Research, which is the first few rows of benches at church that have less parishioners than the last few rows. Okay. All right.
Actually, we set a pretty low bar there, Sean.
That actually was very good, to be honest with you. All right, so let's get into our beliefs, everybody. Here you go. All right, and this is going to help you in your leadership journey. Type A, buddy, is consensus.
Yes.
A-type belief is consensus. Here's what this means. This means that this belief is core to your life perspective because other people are in consensus with you. Brian, if I were to say to you, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, would you say true or false?
I would say true.
Absolutely. We would probably ask Sean. We would ask Tom. We'd say, hey, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? They would all agree. Once they agree, I'm like, well, then I'm in. I now have consensus. So again, this is maybe your kind of, if you get people to buy into what you're, there's also facts that kind of back that up. Because again, the example is if you find out a core belief is not true, it can rattle your world. So like, she uses the example of people who are adopted, and by the time they're 12 or 13, they find out that their parents are not their parents. Like I always had this belief around that, and now that can kind of shake you a little bit. So basically, one way of believing things is if everybody's believing it, kind of coming in, there's a consensus. That's one way. So the masks, again, everybody's wearing a mask and must be okay. The B-type belief that she talks about in her article is resistant to change, even with no consensus. So this belief is resistant to change despite lacking social support. So she says, my husband believes that he's a bad dancer, even though there's zero consensus of this fact. He simply believes he's a bad dancer no matter how much. So, hey, there could be facts and could not be facts, but you know what? I'm not going to change the way I view you. Honey, you're not a bad dancer. No, I think I am a bad dancer. No, you're not, but I'm going to stick with my belief, even though that there's no consensus on there.
And the reverse of that could be true as well. Like, for instance, I think I'm a really good dancer. But
oh, man. If only I had a... Yeah. So neither of us are very good at that. Okay. So type C. This goes into the authorities that you trust. So a C-type belief, buddy, says, who do you trust and who don't you trust? Your parents, a teacher, a religious leader, a scientist, a politician, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times. If the authorities who you trust say it, then it's true. Then it's true. And you can see this a lot on people who are watching national news and things like that. They said it on this, they said it on that. So it must be true. We're going to hold our comments on that. All right. The next one, D-type, buddy. This is based on trends. This belief is based on trends and also different ways of different authorities and how you trust them. So you believe something that's trending on Reddit without knowing if it's true or not. You assume it must be true because, again, people are talking about it. It's on TikTok. It's on here. It's on there. So, again, trend-based, not really consensus as it was with type A, but more about trends. And then the final one is inconsequent.
You'll get there. Try it again.
Inconsequential, which means I'm going to put a fact out there right now.
Okay.
Tim Tebow is the greatest college football quarterback of all time.
Correct.
Emmitt Smith, the best college football running back of all time.
Right.
Danny Werfel, the best college football of all time quarterback. Best of all time.
Second best.
LeBron James, the best. I'm using these examples because I don't need facts or data or stats. It is I'm going to believe what I believe, no matter what.
But all those
Period.
were real facts.
Well, those are bad examples because Tim Tebow is the greatest of all time. No, but this is just, hey, let me tell you something. Brian, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I'm going to go with, I enjoy, you know what? This is going to be silly. I love a good homemade vanilla ice cream.
Would you call it the best flavor of all time?
Yes.
You're wrong, because the best flavor of all time is Oreo ice cream or cookies and cream. Best flavor of all time. Now, what we're going to do, buddy, is we're going to get data and facts and all that, but are you ever going to change my mind? No, never. Inconsequential. So again, these are the 5 types. So what does this mean look at this. We got a lot of Gator fans on today. Everybody's believing.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why all of a sudden I don't understand.
Those are facts. So here's my point, Brian, and this is the point that the author makes. Yeah, this is all neat and fun to learn about and all that. What in the world does it have to do with us? Here's the point. She says that you then create a bias around your opinion. So if you're in a leadership role, Brian, if you're in a management role, and you go into people and say things like, well, I saw it on Fox News. That's why I believe this way. I saw it on CNN. That's why I believe this way. It's going to be hard to influence and inspire people because they're not coming from the same type as you are. This is why we're having these problems, Brian. I can find data from anybody that says masks are helpful. And then I can go on the internet and find data from somebody else that says masks are a waste of time. You can find whatever you want to support your opinion. So you got to be careful. And that's why she also says, don't rely on just one news source, but go to other sources. Go watch, listen to different TV shows, listen to different radio shows, all of these things. And she also says, number 3, be scrupulous about validating what you share with others. Be very careful, especially in this political season. And there's so many news stories that we don't cover because this is a fun show, but we don't want you going back to work or talking to your friends and being kind of shut out the side. So what do you think about all those types, buddy?
I think it seems like type E has grown to be most of what I see, just people who just spout off something as if it were a fact, or they'll say, well, I've done the research,
right?
And just going to your favorite website and validating what you already believe, that's not research.
100% correct.
So my tongue has permanent bite marks in it from just being quiet.
I know
all the E-type beliefs.
Yes. So again, we all have beliefs. We all learned it from our parents, or we learned it from other people. And again, look, here's our buddy Russ. Russ heard it on Leadership and Laugh, so it must be true.
That's type.
Dude, I was watching this live podcast stream the other night, and there are 5 belief types from Rorschach. You are a famous test as well. So thank you very much to my buddy, Susan Fowler. We'll tag you. Say hi to Ken Blanchard for us. Sean again coming in with the humor, Brian. So you gotta appreciate that. Let's get to what everybody's waiting for, buddy.
What is this, Pete?
I'm sorry, buddy. I forgot to press the mic button. It's everybody's favorite leadership statistics game show that you tune in for, that you want to. It's better than Lost Lyrics. It's better than Match Game. It is Over and Under with my buddy Brian. Let's give him a round of applause. I don't even have that sound effect pulled up, so you go ahead and get started, and I will get you some applause.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. So like Pete said, it's everybody's favorite leadership statistics game show, Over and Under. And today, for the second week in a row, we're going to be talking about employees' mental health in the workplace and emotional support that they're needing as they are working at home.
I'm sorry. There's nothing worse than giggling when you're talking about mental health, but just the way you said it, you're like, for the second week in a row, we will be discussing mental health as our game show theme. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, buddy.
Haggard over here. All right. back, I guess what it was at March where, the stay-at-home orders kind of swept across the country, and
Yep.
a lot of folks thought they'd be back to the office in just a few weeks, couple of months tops. But as the COVID-19 pandemic continued to surge, and a lot of people are making the call to continue their virtual work environment into 2021. So on the one hand, some workers like myself are adapting and really enjoy working from home. And on the other, many workers are not only logging extra hours, but juggling additional caretaking responsibilities for their
adults, kids, school, all that stuff, buddy.
And not to mention the stress of, the global pandemic and the recession and everything else, which kind of puts them at a risk for burnout.
Yes.
So fear of a recession, not to get political. But what we're talking about here is a survey that was done by a company called Flex Jobs. And we
must do it again because you said Flex Jobs. It is the time that we pump you up with the Flexi Jobs.
We're pumping you up. We are
Flex Jobs.
There are a few people.
Your jobs are very flabby.
That's true. Flex Jobs partnered with for this one, Mental Health America, to conduct a survey of more than 1,500 work from home employees to find out how people are getting along mentally at work during these unprecedented times.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Bring it, my friend. I'm excited.
Now, are you playing this by yourself, or do you want everybody to text in? And
as always, we encourage everyone. If you get 3 out of 3, we put your name into a hat, and at the end of the year, we draw that for a free Leadership and Laughs Tesla, which we will be giving out at the end of the year. So Tesla still, it's not shrink wrapped yet on order. Okay.
I'm told Elon Musk doesn't like this, and. No go on the Tesla.
All right, but yes, play along. Over under, just write it in your Facebook or your LinkedIn chat. We might throw your big name up on the screen. Might be fun for you to play. Try and get 3 out of 3. That's always the goal, right, buddy?
That's right. So here we go. Will you get 3 out of 3? You did last week.
Last time was the first time, I think, in 22 episodes. I did good.
You can match it. What percentage, Pete? What percentage of respondents indicated that they have the emotional support they need at work to help manage their stress? That they do have the emotional support they need at work to control their stress. Is it over or under 50%?
That's all good. I was hoping you were going to, that they have what they need. Oh, man.
What percentage indicated they have the emotional support they need at work to help them manage their stress?
And again, coming from HR, I'm going to want to go deeper. Are you talking emotional support from their peers, from their coworkers? Is it a management style support? Does the culture support them? There's so many different ways that we can get the emotional support that we need. My buddy, I think my buddy Jonathan Atkins here works in the fire service. So again, he's around guys all the time. So they've got that sort of bonding thing where they can be together and get that emotional support. My buddy, go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
But he said under, though.
He said under. Scott says under. My buddy Ross. I don't know why I keep calling him Ross. It's 2 times. 2 times. Ross. 2 times. Now, let me say, Joseph's always going under, but my buddy Sean is going where I'm thinking. He says few are going to admit they have stress, and Michael, of course, works where I work, and there's a great support system. So I'm going to go with Michael and Sean. I'm going to go with the over 50% have the support they need, the emotional support they need. Lay it on me.
Yes, it's over, but it's over by... it's over, but it's only over by 1.
I don't know what that is.
What's happening?
I need to invest in a sound effects bar instead of just holding up my phone.
On the board.
So go ahead. So what was the number?
51%. It's over, but only by one. So only 51%
1%. Okay.
they have the emotional support they need at work to help them manage their stress.
Yeah.
And they do, however, believe that there are ways that employees can help the staff navigate workplace stress and support mental health.
Okay. All right.
Goes to our next question. So
I want to say hi to my buddy Anthony Hughes. Haven't seen him. He's from St. Petersburg, joining us in a while. What's up, Anthony? Haven't talked to you in a long time. So thanks for jumping in, buddy. All right, question number 2, Anthony. Play along. Here we go. Everybody else, let's go.
All right. So Pete's 1 for 1, and you're 1 for 1 if you said over.
Over on the last one.
All right. So what percentage said having flexibility in their workday was the top way that their workplace could better support them?
Okay. Give me a number, and I'm going to say over, no matter what number you say.
All right. Over or under 43%.
It's more than that. And I'm going to tell you why, my friend. This is what everybody needs right now. Everybody needs flexibility. Like you said, taking care of the kids, homeschooling, running up to the Piggly Wiggly, if you will, to grab something real quick. Do it. You've got to be over. So, and keep in mind, my smoking hot wife, not pictured, by the way, also going with over.
All right. So
anybody else playing? My buddy Michael says over again. You're saying what percentage of people have asked for flexibility as a number one way to handle stress?
Correct. Then what percentage of people said having flexibility in their workday was the top way, the best way that their workplace could support them?
All right. Either you've made this too easy or you have stumped all of us and it's going to be 42% or something like that. So everybody's going over. What do you got, buddy? Lay it on me.
This must have been a typo because it was over. You're all right. It was 56%. 56% of respondents in this survey said that having flexibility in their workday was the best way their workplace could better support them and their mental health.
Yeah. Well, that's the first one really that you haven't gotten multiple answers. Most everybody is saying, which means that everybody who's watching and listening is like, yes, flexibility. I need flexibility. I need it so bad right now.
We'll run that one.
Yeah. All right, buddy. 2 for 2. Let's go. One more. Here we go.
One more.
Pretty strong.
So participants in the survey were also asked if they would be open to participating in virtual mental health solutions if they were offered through their workplace. So some sort of mental health solutions that could be done virtually as they're working from home. What percentage indicated that they would be willing to participate in virtual workout sessions? Virtual workout sessions, over or under 40%.
Oh, don't put me down for cardio. Horizontal running. No, vertical running. Anybody? The movie? Anybody? Vertical running.
I won't say it.
Don't put me down for cardio. All right. So I was so busy making that joke that I didn't listen to a thing you were saying. What is that? Oh, how many people want virtual workouts?
Yes. What percent they would be willing to participate in their company's virtual workout sessions?
And what'd you say? What's the number?
Under 40%.
Yeah, it's under. It's under. Nobody wants to do that. Sean says under. Sherry says under. My daughter, who works out, of course, says over. My smoking hot wife says the movie is pitch perfect. Well done, sweetie. Michael is also lazy like the rest of us. Under. What? I don't even know what a virtual workout is. Are we going to... What am I doing? How is that going to help with my stress? It's going to make me more stressed because I'm so lazy. I can't even work out virtually. I'm just so incredibly
in a Zoom session.
I'm
wearing my fat pants.
Anthony says under. Other Anthony says under. Scott says under. I don't know if you've lost your touch or if only my daughter is going over.
I gave you some easy ones today. Madison was playing. She was displaying a little game theory there. Figure if I figure it out at 40, it must be over. But it was, in fact, under 37%.
3 for 3. 3 for 3, baby.
Yeah, I'm sorry you have that on a drop now.
3 for 3, man.
No,
So what have we learned? What have we learned from this tonight, buddy?
what I learned, it surprised me that it was even that high. Who would want to do a virtual workout session with their coworkers?
Yeah,
I wouldn't. But I look like this. So
yes, as do I. But I also give the organization kudos for they're not just standing back and saying we're not going to do anything. We realize there's mental health issues, whether it's through flexibility, virtual workouts, EAP programs. What do you need? So again, I think the organization in good faith, whoever they are, has to put these things out there. It's funny to see that a lot of people aren't interested in some of the things that they're putting out there.
I'll tell you, there were some other ones that were listed. Virtual workouts just made me laugh, but so survey respondents said they would be open to participating in virtual mental health solutions, which included meditation sessions, 45%, healthy eating classes, 38%. That's obviously much needed during COVID. We're just whatever. The virtual workout classes was 37. Desktop yoga.
Yeah, I've heard about this stuff, buddy. And again, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I'm glad organizations are doing it. I don't know if it's a show pony thing or if it's really helping people who are having mental health and stress issues and all that right now. If you sit with me and tell me to do the dirty dog or whatever I'm doing over the next few minutes in my chair, I'm not sure that
dirty dog.
Isn't that what it's called? Debbie says she doesn't like working out by herself. Why is she going to do it with her coworkers?
I get it.
Absolutely.
You do it with her beautiful children.
Oh, man. Well, hey, man, those were good. This back-to-back weeks, 3 for 3, buddy. I can't wait to see what you got. Oh, man. What's happening here, buddy?
Dude, it should be a parade.
This is the Daily Disney, man. This is the time where you and I share information that we learn from working at Disney, things that'll help people be better leaders, share a little information about Disney, and just kind of go back to our roots. Look, there we are with Walt. That's you in the Mickey costume. Those were good days, man.
That was me back in '56. Hurricane Mickey logo for the college program.
Man, we look good. I want to thank Sean for asking for the nasty gator. All right. So we got to go to MPAA ratings pretty soon. All right, everybody. We're going to spend the last couple minutes here talking about one of our favorite things, which is leadership lessons from Disney, what we can learn. And tonight, Brian, we're going with a good old-fashioned, something that I'm shocked that my wife has never heard about before, and it's the good old-fashioned term bumping the lamp.
Yeah.
Bumping the lamp. I know you have been at Disney a long time and are familiar with the bumping the lamp term. I know that my people who worked at Disney, but is anybody else who never worked at Disney familiar with the term bumping the lamp? And we're going to spend just a couple minutes today explaining it to you through both video and through talking about it, about how you as a leader can take this concept and kind of apply it in different ways in your organization. But I also want to talk about it from a COVID point of view as well, because I've got a story about the Cinderella castle lights I want to share with you as well. So what I'm going to do is show you a movie clip from the famous movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's about a minute clip. So if you're watching, go ahead and watch along. If you're listening on the podcast, just listen to this and then we'll explain what's going on. I don't want to tell you what we're looking for. I want you to just watch this video clip for me.
Ready?
And Brian, give me a thumbs up if you can hear that.
Boy, what is this? Some kind of a secret room?
It's a rot gut room. Holdover from Prohibition.
Oh, I get it. A speakeasy, a gin mill, a hooch parlor.
Tools are up here, Eddie.
Look at this. It's a spy hole. Jeepers, Eddie, this would be a great place to hide.
This is tools.
Good stuff.
Watch your head.
I thought you said you'd never take another tooth case. What'd you have, a change of heart?
Nothing's changed. Somebody's made a patsy out of me, and I'm gonna find out why. Hold still, will ya?
Does this help?
Yeah, thanks. Do you mean to tell me that you could have taken your hand out of that cuff at any time?
No, not at any time. Only when it was funny. Come on, Eddie.
All right. So that's good stuff. So now here's what the whole bumping the lamp concept comes from. It was brought about by Michael Eisner during the filming of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So let me go ahead and read to you from the Be Our Guest book from the Disney Institute about what bumping the lamp is all about. So Bumping the Lamp was born during the Walt Disney Pictures Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's an innovative mix of live action and cartoons. And during the making of the film, the lamp and its shadow would appear in the live action setting the same way it would appear in the natural world. But what happens when you add Roger Rabbit to it, an animated cartoon? Well, most of you may not have even noticed the difference. And certainly the scene could have been shot without him bumping his head. But the film's animation artist made sure that the shading on Roger Rabbit's accurately reflected the shadow cast over the 24 frames in every second of the scene. They paid attention to the details and took that extra step in their commitment to a quality guest experience. So I'm going to show you not the whole thing, but just the last 24 seconds again, and just watch as Bob Hoskins hits his head, and watch as the shadows are animated back and forth over Roger Rabbit's head. So you can see here, see how it goes from dark to light to dark to light. You can see it in the background, in the foreground.
Does this help?
Yeah, thanks.
Now, what we could do, Brian, is the animators could have just made him that color right there the entire time. Could have just made, I mean, that's totally fine. None of us would have sat through this movie and gone, can you believe that? Look, the shadow, I mean, someone very astute would have caught that. But that's the attention to detail. That's the bumping the lamp. That's the, are we going to put in the extra work and the extra effort, even though nobody knows that it's there, but they'll sort of feel it and touch it and experience it. So that's the lesson of bumping the lamp. And so tell me your history. You've heard about this before?
We got it, back during our traditions days. And I always wondered if the animators would have just gone to the filmmakers and said, hey, can you just reshoot that where he doesn't bump the lamp?
Right. Just take that scene out, because we're adding all this extra time and effort and money into that. So go ahead.
The details. And, I remember there was a story about the carriages at Disneyland, and, he wanted it to be real leather, not, fake leather that would last longer in the sun or whatever, but the gilt painting on the tiles in the castle.
Yes.
Real gold.
Yes.
You would really know if that was just fake gold paint, but
yep. The carousel horses are all hand painted on both carousels, King Arthur's and Sleeping Beauty's carousels. They're all hand painted. Those are the type of attention to detail that we're taught at Disney, right? Did I get those two right, by the way?
I believe so.
Okay, it's not bad. So here's the example for you to apply to your world, okay? The attention to detail at Walt Disney World is just as intense as in their films. You'll see them in the hotel room doors that have 2 peepholes, one for the adults, one for the kids. You'll see in the trash cans being designed. Take a quick survey of them. So what you want to think about is the unconsciousness that you're trying to get people's attention to as part of your overall. We talk about Disney show all the time, Brian, and the show is the smells, the taste, the touch, and all that. But think about your organization right now. Think about your organization. Oh, my wife says this. Did you know that on the carousel there is one horse that has a golden tie on the back of it? And legend has it that is actual Cinderella's horse. So we would always let our kids run on that one, which is always fun. So takeaways, Brian, from a leadership lesson. Let me tell you a quick story though. When does profit or profit margin affect things like bumping the lamp? I think right now. And I will give you an example. Walt Disney World is operating at about 20% capacity right now. To be totally honest, hemorrhaging money hand over fist in the theme park side. But they're open. They're still losing money, just not as much money as they would be losing. But they came out yesterday and said they're not going to drape Cinderella's castle with the lights this year. They're not going to put all of those lights all over the castle. Now, when I go out and do my talks about Disney, I always talk about, look what they're doing. They don't have to do that. People will come anyways. But that's the attention to detail. That's the show. This year, they're not doing it. So you might take a step back and say, oh, Disney's slipping. Oh, Disney's not attention to detail anymore, whatever. But at the end of the day, how do you balance that attention to show, attention to detail with your operating costs and the budget and the pandemic and things that are happening? So even Disney as an organization is smart enough to realize that if we invested everything into the show elements we were doing right now, we might have to get rid of people or lay people off or things like that down in the future. So this is tough right now because you and I are so big on the show element and so big on attention to detail and so big on Disney doing this. So it kind of is hypocritical to go, look how great they are, but they're not putting up the castle lights this year because it's so there's something you have to think about right now, right? When it comes to to dollars and cents.
Yeah, a little bit. It hurts my sensibilities because, I was always, believed in that order, safety, courtesy, show, efficiency.
Yeah.
And I know that profit isn't named specifically there, but
right.
I always hated it if efficiency somehow crept above the show or not usually courtesy, but if it means saving the company in order to keep bringing happiness to,
right.
people of all ages everywhere, then so be it.
Yeah. And I'm going to have a good report for you when I come back next Wednesday. I'm heading down to the old stomping grounds, primarily on a fact-finding mission. I really want to see what it's like at 20% capacity, what it's like with the masks, what it's like, what cast members are like, what their safety measures are. How's the courteousness going? Are they being more efficient? I really want to get a feel hands-on. So my wife and I will be going down, and she mentions they've actually reduced operating hours, that they aren't open too long after dark. So most of them aren't open past 6 or 7 right now. So again, there's a lot of things that are happening with the organization. The pandemic is changing the way we all do business. It's changing everything. So
maybe when are you going?
We're leaving. Well, my address is, and my house will be vacant on. Never mind.
What I was going to suggest, the reason I was asking is, I think maybe the Daily Disney on the show that you come back from your fact-finding mission should be a bigger part of the show.
Oh, we might talk about the trip and make it all next week, and I'll have some good videos to show. I'll record some stuff. We can talk about how it affects how people can access in their lives and things like that. So I love it, buddy. What does that mean? Yep. I think we're at the end of the show, man. I think we've done the Daily Disney. I think we've done everything. I think the last thing we need is a did you know? So get us going, buddy.
Well, earlier during our over-under session, we said that 56% of workers said that having flexibility in their workday was overwhelmingly listed as the top way that their workplace could support them. But did you know that encouraging time off and offering mental health days were tied for second and third at 43%. And then 28% felt that increased PTO and better health insurance were the next best ways to provide support.
It's interesting you say that, mental health days, because I think the stigma is coming off of that. Back in the day, if you were really sick, you took a sick day. But if you were just stressed, you had to call in and go, I don't feel good. And reality was you just wanted to sit on the couch and what. Now I think we're going to get to a place where people are going to say, I just need a day to sit and think and walk and go to nature. And the stigma is going to be gone with that.
Mental health days are a thing now, and they didn't used to be.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Thank you all for watching and for being part of the show today. Todd says, keep it up. I appreciate that. Ross wants me to bring him a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar. So thanks, Ross. I will do that. And my sister, she went a couple weeks ago to Disney and says it's a little different, but the magic is still there. And that makes me feel good. So That's awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. If you listen on the recording, tell your friends next week, every Wednesday, same time, LinkedIn, Facebook, Podbean. We do them all. We've lowered the curtain on Brian's backdrop, so who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen next week? So that's all from Birmingham, and we'll get our sound effects done with this. We're going to get fined for this one. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you, Brian. Bye, buddy.